Hi, Stigma Smashers! I'm in Kanab, Utah for a very special trip to visit Utah. That's why I have my beautiful, gorgeous water bottle here for Ever Mighty Utah. Now, how did Blindish Latina end up in Utah? It is all because of a brand partnership. I was able to work with them to customize the itinerary to things that we are interested in. That is always great because as a disabled content creator, I really want to weave in my unique voice, my perspective, the things that are accessible for me, the activities that are interesting for me, and make that a part of my story. So they completely understood that. We got a rental car. The drive is about 5 hours long. And what's really nice about the drive is that there wasn't a lot of traffic. It was so beautiful. When you're driving from Salt Lake City to here, the landscape is changing. Sometimes you're right through the mountains and the hills and you see them on either side. And sometimes they're in the distance, but you see vegetation, little trees. And then when we got closer to Kanab, the landscape completely changed and it became so dry and dusty, and we saw red rocks and elevations all around us that were super different and unique. We were able to enjoy nature, the mountains, the valleys, the farms. So last night we got in and we were able to eat at a wonderful restaurant on the main street here and have dinner, lots of vegetables, which you know I love. So I got a vegetarian dish and I got a little mac and cheese because I wanted a little something that was like a comfort food. So that was delicious. This is day 2 of the trip for the first full day, staying at the Hampton Inn. And so this morning we got our free breakfast and we went to the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. That sounds amazing, right? An animal sanctuary. So I was like, we're gonna meet lots of animals. Amazing. What I didn't know is that the land was in a huge part of their story. They have 6,000 acres of land in this sanctuary, and they also have a 40-year history where many people decided to get together 40 years ago and create this environment. They were looking for land. They all had lots of animals. They all had shared values. And from that, they've created a leading organization with a campaign to make every shelter in the country no kill. Like they want to see how can we work together to make sure that all the animals can get adopted, that we don't have to kill. They're doing spay and neuter programming as well.
So the reason that we transfer pets to other shelters is we have 4,500 partner shelters all over the country that are either working to become no-kill or are no-kill. And so a lot of times there's shelters where there's usually larger cities where there's a high demand for cats or dogs or animals, and we're a little bit remote, so the likelihood of the pets getting adopted here isn't as high as in a large city. So if they need animals and we have healthy animals, we'll send animals to them. Sometimes we'll make trades. Sometimes there's shelters that have a lot of sick animals that they can't afford to house or they don't have space to house, and sometimes we'll take a whole van load of their, say, cats with ringworms that need multiple treatments in 6 weeks before they can be adopted, and we'll give them a van load of healthy cats to keep the flow of animals out into the community and keep adoptions going. And the more space that we can give them, the more animals they can save, and the more that we can keep pets going across the country where they're needed and wanted, the more adoptions we can have and hopefully get to no kill by 2025, which is Best Friends goal.
Nationwide?
Nationwide.
Oh.
Yep. So we're working to make the entire country no kill by 2025.
But one funny thing is that I pet a pig for the first time. Have you ever touched a pig? They have coarse hair. They have hair all over their bodies. So in the cartoons, you see pigs that are pink and they don't paint hair on them. But I didn't imagine a pig to have this like bristly, coarse hair. It wasn't very nice to touch, and my hands are sensitive. I gently interacted with the pig and said, thank you, so nice to meet you. We also saw horses. We were not allowed to touch the horses, and that's fine, but they're beautiful, majestic, and they have various areas with horses. We saw a cemetery that they have for animals who have passed, including animals that didn't live on the sanctuary. It's a very special, peaceful place with wind chimes. Like you can put up a wind chime for your animal. The landscape with the red rocks and the dustiness, it was so cool, and you're just in nature the whole time. We met, of course, cats and dogs. I did better with the cats, and they're very cute. You know, I love cats. So I met some cats. I tried to be best friends with them, and some of them graciously interacted with me. Now the dog, most of them were like bigger dogs. I was able to pet them, I was able to interact with them. Sometimes I get nervous about a dog jumping on me if they're bigger and just not knowing their own strength. I don't think I've been knocked over by a dog, but I have been off balance, thrown off balance. So I want to be mindful of that. We spent a lot of time there. We also had a beautiful lunch. Best Friends has a vegan cafe. And today was Taco Day. So hello, the perfect day for us to visit. We ate outside with this beautiful vista and landscape right in front of us the whole time. Like, what a beautiful way to eat. That was amazing. And now we're off to explore the city. It is a small city, about a little over 5,000 inhabitants. And it seems like we're just in the middle of so much nature. The hiking that we can do around here. We're gonna see some beautiful nature tomorrow. I'm very excited. But now we're gonna go to shops, small businesses, and walk up and down and see some museums. So I'm looking forward to it. Yesterday we walked around Kanab, and this was our first time exploring the town. It was really beautiful weather, so that was awesome, and I was in search of tea. Most of the coffee tea places closed earlier in the afternoon, but I was able to find a place that was really cool called Willow Canyon, and it had books and gear and coffee and tea. And when I first walked in there, they had oolong tea. I saw an organic oolong, and while I normally drink green, I was very excited about oolong. It's very, very nice tea. I ordered that, and then I looked at the coffee like just casually and saw the first coffee there was from Maracala in Honduras, which is a place that my partner and I have been to. We've been to Maracala, to that coffee region. We tasted the coffee. We met with a family. This was on a previous trip of ours many years ago. So I had to have that coffee. And then when I tasted it, it really brought me back to Honduras. It was so just like amazing how a taste can bring back a memory. So I really savored that coffee. So I drank a lot of liquids. We were walking around, we were enjoying the different small businesses. It's a very lively city. Even though there's only 5,000 people, there are a ton of businesses. Obviously they receive a lot of visitors as well. We walked into a beautiful gallery called Raven's Gallery, and we enjoyed the art. And it was different types of art, including jewelry, including ceramics, glass, like hand-blown glass, paintings, of course, and photography. And a lot of the photography included nature and wildlife and animals. So that was very, very nice to visit. And we also visited Little Hollywood, which is a museum that has old movie sets, because in the city they used to shoot a lot of westerns. So there's a rich history of Hollywood coming here to Kanab. It was very fun to be on the sets and go inside the buildings and kind of get a little bit of a feel for how they created that movie magic. And all along the sidewalks when we were walking, there were signs showcasing different actors and people involved in the Little Hollywood Western industry. And so they would have pictures and bios, and it would name specific films that they had shot here in this area. We saw Sidney Poitier on one of them. We didn't know that he had been in a Western movie. I don't know how many he did, but the picture they chose of him, he had an arrow inside of him. And I don't remember any other people's pictures showing them injured. It was nice to see a person of color represented. The sidewalks were flat and easy to navigate, pretty wide. I think the bigger intersections had walk signs, you could push a button. There were some streets that didn't have that, I think just because they were less busy. And we had a beautiful dinner at a restaurant called Thyme. And I ordered black bean sliders, which was an appetizer that the servers said could work as an entree. It was delicious. I got 2 sliders and a salad with black fried peas and corn. So I just had a great dinner. The service was really good. The food was amazing. My partner also enjoyed his meal. Definitely recommend Wild Thyme if you are ever coming to Kanab. Today we got up bright and early. I do not like that. We had a tour, so we started at 8 a.m. and with Dreamland Safari Tours, we went to Peekaboo Slot Canyon. And Peekaboo is apparently a common word for slot canyons here in this area, and some of them have that name still. This one is not too far from Kanab, but the first part of the drive, you're on the paved road, but then you have to go off-road. And so it's a lot bumpy, but it's not too long. So I think it's tolerable. If you do have motion sickness issues, then that's a moment to prepare with your Dramamine or whatever you need. When we got to the canyon, I was able to use hiking poles. I did not use my white cane, and that is because my white cane is not a stability cane. I cannot put weight on it. It's not designed for that. It is designed to orient me. But if I need stability and I need to support myself, or the terrain is not something that the ball can smoothly roll over, then I switch to hiking poles. The entire path at the slot canyon was made of sand, and there were rocks as well. So I had to be careful in certain places. And if I feel my way, I use both of my hiking poles to extend my vision and keep me safe and also keep me stable. The canyons was so beautiful and otherworldly in some ways. Sparks a lot of curiosity of like, well, how did all these striations happen? What are the impacts? So our guide was talking about the impact of earthquakes on the patterns that we were seeing. So we walked through various areas. Sometimes it was more narrow, sometimes it was more open, and we had a few tricky moments. Like there was a place where I had to climb a ladder. It was made very sturdily. It was safe, but I have to pay attention still because that can be dangerous. I remember 2 points where I felt like there was a big obstacle. We made it to the end of Peekaboo Canyon. This is a half-mile long trail. It has sand, the surface with rocks, and some of them were big, so I had to be careful. Really glad I have the hiking poles from the tour company. All around us are tall rocks with striations. We look up and see slivers of the sky. It was such a beautiful, beautiful walk. And when we reach the end, it's a little bit anticlimactic. It's just a dead end in the rock. But now we go back out the way we came in. Definitely worth it to go. I would love to see another slot canyon. And then we just had lunch at Havana Cabana. It is a Cuban restaurant here in Kanab. They have huge signs, and that's the reason that we found out about it. We met today the couple that runs it. The wife is Cuban from Havana. They met here in the United States. So it was just amazing to taste her black beans. They brought me right back to my memories with my family. They definitely had that Cuban flavor. One very nice touch is that on the combo plate that I got is a rice plate. It came with plantains, and I asked her, are these maduros, are these tostones? Because one is sweet and one is salty, and I like the salty one. And she said, oh, it's one of each. That's the perfect world. One of each. I get my sweet, I get my salty. 10 out of 10. I'll have to check back in with you later because we're gonna go check out some more nature. And this is actually our last full day here. The trip is going by so fast. We just did the Toadstool Hoodoo hike, I think it's called. Yeah, it kind of destroyed me. There was so much sand blowing all over, so I have like sand on my face, on my clothes. It was only 0.8 miles, but that was deceiving because the hike itself was sandy pathway, lots of rocks in various places. I was climbing, I was on like narrow passageways. It took a lot out of me, a lot of energy. It's not well marked as well, which I think a local told us that the hikes out here are very different than the ones on the East Coast. Like the East Coast makes it really easy and identifiable. So this is not as accessible for me. Thankfully, my partner had a very good sense of direction
and was able to figure everything out. If it was up to me, if I had done this hike alone, I don't think I would have made it. I would have come back, or like I would have had to join with other people. Now the actual destination was very cool, landforms that I've never seen before. So when I look back, I will be happy that I've seen them, but I won't be signing up to do it again. I also didn't have hiking poles. The ones that I had earlier today, I borrowed from a tour company, and I wish I had just asked them to keep them and borrow them for the rest of the day, because without hiking poles, it's such a different experience for me. It's not as accessible. That night, we had an incredible dinner at Sego Restaurant, which is really beautiful and kind of fancy, yes, but we were covered with dust from the hike to see the toadstools. The elote fritters were the best thing. After that, the next day, we road trip back to Salt Lake City and had the same amazing views we had on the way there. It was such an incredible trip. I really want to go back to Utah. I'm already dreaming up what else I can do there. So Stigma Smasher, thank you for watching this trip video. If you want to see more videos on inclusive and accessible travel, subscribe to BlindishLatina and let me know all your questions in the comments. Do you have questions about visiting Kanab, the town, outdoor activities, the hikes that we did? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.